afternoon or good evening, depending where you are. We're going to speak today about a visionary man, young, very practical, very imaginary, very family-wise, human, listening. I want to speak about Ronnie Fieg from KITH. He succeed, and he's succeeding by a really hard work to develop his label with a lot of collaborations, which all are so accurate and all so well thought that sometimes you think, well, that was kind of evidence. Why no one thought about it before? And this is where the one facet of Ronnie. The other one is to listen, to have a point of view, but to listen to the people he respects, to almost all his team, and to take a decision exactly like Winston Churchill was saying to do. He knows where he want to go, and he knows almost how he want to go. But he knows also that this section of a thought and a vision is something that you have to delegate. And delegate will not be giving. It will be overseeing, and it will be understanding. And there's nothing more, as you can see here, giving pleasure than to share an experience and an analyze. Alexandra Avalone, a partner in New York in the office, received a call from KITH, and 4 years ago went to the meeting. It was scouting from Ronnie to different production to understand with whom he want to work. He knows already that a part of the creation of images will be done by a friend of him called Studio Institute, but he didn't know who will organize and put this idea of a fashion show. After 3 years, he opened his office and his brand in place, in reality. The human aspect, and at the same time, the absolute precision of Alex win that bid. And so I've been able to meet him. He had decided that this first one should be in this venue, which is in Manhattan, and it was a venue belonging to Samsung, a venue with an amphitheater, big screen, and then you have several levels. And on the ground floor, you have windows who goes on the street. So the idea of the model was like a certain number of guests will be seating on this amphitheater where there was no room for model to pass but down on a stage that we made it wider. And then draw a path for the models to walk up through other guests and also in front of the windows for the people outside could share the show. Definitely it was live show. This show was divided in sections. There were the section of a beach, city, mountain. But at an introduction, and between each section where the models were called to walk around and show, almost by couple, in a very, very human way, the collection, there was VIP guests, friends of Ronnie, who came and sing. You had a performance from Fabulous, then you have G.A. Rule, then you had Locks, then you have ASAP Rocky, and that was really this mix, which is a mix of Ronnie's life, of music and aesthetic and family and friends. It was really like a global experience. The global experience is Ronnie is always thinking about how to give more than what people expect, how to make the people as more comfortable as possible. So after that show, who was a very nice success, after this projection of images and the models and the singers, 1 year after, we had to found a venue to make another show, also using images, also using screens. And it finished to be in Manhattan in a place called Classic Car Club, which was great because it was quite an empty space when you put all the cars away. And it was just near the river. So it was a beautiful also to go outside. And basically, we made the show with the screens with the images from Studio Institute, with the models playing around, making the show, stopping at position, making some kind of pictures with the image behind. And I remember that during the rehearsal, all the time, Ronnie was following me to understand what I was doing and why, questioning. And that was pretty amazing to be able to share, to see how fast he's going in his head, with also proposition, which were always hyper welcome, not in a commercial way, but in a real way, like everybody is to making better. And if we succeed, it goes that we go so much to the extreme of what we are able to do with all our experience and our knowledge, then we can really make people live an experience. I remember when I arrived, Alex and Edward were like, wow, I didn't understand why they were so excited. And I had to go to speak and to ask to a man to explain where he was able to go. I know this guy was a basketball player because his hands were like that and his smile were like that, and I was looking at him like this. And then talking to him with such a lovely man, we begin to be buddy and explain what he wanted. And I explained to him, you're not walking on basketball play like a model, so don't try to model. Just be yourself. Walk as yourself. Stop on this area as you feel. Remember to have the eye contact with the audience because they love you and they love to see you. And so after the explanation, I saw the second man arriving. The second man that I recognized, this one, was Scottie Pippen. Wow. But the first one was Mr. LeBlanc. So for us in Europe, which are not in the NBA, rugby I love, or football or tennis, fine. But basketball is not something to be part of our day-to-day life. But to be nearby these guys, all what they lived and how the strength they had to arrive and to succeed in such perfection, and so in a way humility, even if there was rings and friends and diamonds, that's part of a game. It's not the real human. And when you speak about the real human, it's like you and I, and that was an amazing experience. What was super interesting about the two first show was the interaction between images, real images and fake images reworked, to the models with their garment and the section of the garment connected to image. So when you see, you have this feeling of you don't know if the model was inside the screen or not. That was very nice. And the two first show was on that direction. But it was also something that my thought brings me to wanting to propose something else, something where real and reality mixed to the outfit and the clothes and each item, where we were not an image on a screen, but we were in reality. In March, I had a call from Alex say, Ronnie want to see you. I said, what do you mean? Ronnie would like to see you. And I said, did you call the agency to say that Ronnie contact us directly? I said, yes, we did, and that's fine for them. So I thought, and I come back and say, please ask Ronnie if we can see us during a week. 1 hour every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on the Friday, 3 hours on the afternoon, the rest of the day in the morning, early if you can. Alex said, okay, I'm going to ask. Why? I said, you'll see, it will be a process of work, it's interesting. So, went in New York, as every month, when we could, and begin to meet Ronnie to the same office, take my shoes to the same office, and put the slippers. And Ronnie explained that he didn't know what we were doing really, and he didn't know what I was doing, what I've done. And when he discovered it, he wanted to make a challenge. He is challenging himself every second. So to be accepted in this kind of challenge. It's quite a privilege. And so we discovered there was some kind of confluence in the brain, and so that his vision can use my vision and then jump on it, and then like on a trampoline, and then transform it, and then I will retransform it, and etc. It was a back and forth. First day, I was just sitting to listen to what he was expecting. Is it a show, whatever the format, is it a film? So he explained his expectation, and went back to the studio and the office and began to work on the idea, okay, which venue could be interesting for him, which venue could represent KITH, which venue can be generous in volume, proportion, situation. And we came with 3 or 4 different venue another day. So the Tuesday, I begin to explain the different spaces we propose without knowing what we're going to do inside. And so he understood the process and the first step, because a concept has to be adapted to a brand, but has to be adapted also to the place. And because we don't have the concept, we have to build the different parameters and after to match them together. So he agreed, and he chose the Douglas greenhouse in Brooklyn. Amazing volume, incredible. So he began to speak about the collection. Explain there is different theme. This time there's one theme we're going to be possibly about winter, about autumn. There's a second theme would be about a Tommy Hilfiger with college. There's a third theme, it's Greg Lawrence, so it's more the army, the mud, the rugby man, the vintage revisited. And there will be a fifth who he doesn't know yet, but he is in discussion. After that, without more elements, I went back to the office and we had a discussion with Edward Ross, and I had also on call Paris with the technical director to say, well, I have an idea, but I don't know if I can propose it, because it's a question of price, but it's also a question of can we do that? The idea would be to have a riser who could be electrified, in a sense, electrified, or it means that the riser with the audience can move. And so the idea would be to have different sets, and then the people are moving. It's no more turning that we've seen so many times. It's no more the set moving like on the theater or an opera. No, it's something where the experience has to be incredibly present, and it's like, wow, my seat moved, So that's never been done that way. There is turning risers, but there is no something like a train. So I thought, imagine it like a train, like a train that you have cables, and so they begin to work on that. And on my side, I begin to research and speak with the team in images on what is a forest, how can we represent a forest. We made a forest for Off-White. It's not the same forest we have to do. What is the forest in winter? A forest has to be not scary at all. And then, what is college? College could be British. Tommy Hilfiger, which is very American, could be have an ideas of old. So we look to Harvard and Yale and Oxford and Cambridge, different places, and mostly arrive to the idea of could it be a refectoire, or no, I think something more luxury. So could it be a place people go to read, like books on the walls, on the wood, and these doors with the glass you don't really see through, and then the table with the green lamps. So that was a good direction. So we were digging. And after, for Greg, speaking with him in LA on the phone, he was I got my army tent and I would like to keep it fine. So we got army, which kind of car he would like, which kind of furnitures. And then the last one we didn't know. So, but for the moment, I saw that in the venue, when I was drawing a proportion with the number of people, the riser, I couldn't have 5 sets. I should have 4 sets. Well, lucky the set from autumn and winter could be maybe meld together. So basically, we begin to work on that direction. Went back to Ronnie, and this time Ronnie explained more the collection. Monday we met, Tuesday the venue, Wednesday collection. Explaining the collection, he was not sure of what the 5th one was. Listening, I didn't show him anything. Just a moment that I didn't give back the old information he gave us. Thursday came. On Thursday, we arrived with a lot of images of inspiration for the different set. He chose some, he said, I like that, I don't really like this. But I have to tell you, I know who's going to be the last one. So, who? It's going to be Versace. He had a smile like here. We had a smile like that. Versace. I worked with her. Why don't we do something funny like in the 90s? I said, no, it's not about humor. It's about something who can be very, very impressive. Very impressive. Imagining if you could have a people with fallen hood. You don't really see them. They got even fire torch. I said, no, fire torches. Or we do it fake, so it doesn't work fake. And so, exchanging with him, we arrived to the idea of why don't we make a real metal large mansion gate, and at the door will be with the Medusa. Exactly, it was as a mention of the castle, and then behind you have the KITH logo. So for front, you see both together, and you have the projection of the logo on the floor with light, and I can really light it in a very say Gothic way, with each model with a hood and then a light on the top of them, like a shower, making them more impressive than after the door opened and the models are coming. So he agreed on that. He was excited, and we went back to the office. And that was a very, very long night. We drew the plan, had news about the moving riser, who was possible, needed a real development of technique, not only mechanism, but also computering, nerd work. And but that was working for 320 people, could be okay. I should be out, but that's fine. And though I really draw the proportion of each set and put all the inspiration pieces, draw everything on position, thought about having mushrooms, real mushrooms, because I think the smell was very important, to have moss, to have really the flowers, most of the plant you have in the wood, and to have some broken wood, and to have some rotten wood, to have the smell, and then so to light it in a very warm way, like the evening in autumn, and go back to winter, we make it snow with snow machines, and light in a very cold way. For the Hilfiger, choose to try to reproduce exactly the place where people are reading books in Cambridge and Oxford was the best one. Proposed 3 of them. And for the tent, the hill, mud for the rugbyman, car, 4 side of car, sent to Lauren to know if he liked it, which one he prefers. And we drove the gate. So on the Friday, I arrived for the 3 hours with Alex and Edward. And we opened this big plan, fix it on the wall. No, there is no wall to fix it. So put it on the table and begin to explain the story to Ronnie. When I said, and then the people are going to move from one to the other side, they say, oh yeah, nobody some done that? So nobody done that. Let's do it. This is my budget. Thank you. Let's go. And we worked like hell to make it happen in a perfect way and in the budget. The day of the show, it was absolutely incredible on the organization behind of, again, there's 140 models, who is on which set, which designer, Mr. Hilfiger with definitely Greg with Ronnie running around. And then the people arrive. Well, people arrive. It's not a lot of people, right? Even if we do it twice. Like the first one, we had to say to everyone, give us a phone, put them inside a KITH little envelope in fabric. You're not allowed to release any images or to take any images. If you took images, please don't release before tonight. Everybody accept it and make it lovely. And for the real show, I would say the second one, it could go from Fabulous to Justin Bieber. It could be from Alexandre Arnault to LeBron James. They were there. But just like you and me, coming, sitting on the riser in front of a red curtain. Music. Ronnie is really strong on music, really strong. So I suggest to go to see my friend Henry Scarstruck, with whom I've worked in Saint Laurent show. And because he's based in New York and is working normally on films and composition, to try to match each set to something very different and really creating a bubble. It'll go from one bubble to another bubble. So the first, I asked him to begin by a Shostakovich, a quatuor, or to create in front of this audience the feeling of a real theater. So you have this red curtain, the open, you discover the forest. Between brackets, for the forest, I wanted to have squirrel. And everybody was laughing at me because for me, French squirrel is really a symbol of nature and forest. We don't have any squirrel in the cities. But, well, it's not the case in New York, so everybody was laughing. We didn't have squirrels. Basically, open, see the forest, smell the forest, Shostakovich music, Henry Scarstruck mixing, arriving to rhythm. Wow. They are inside one set. The set is wide, deep. Trees. Each trees we had, we planned for. Models arriving, first part, autumn. And then the snow began to come. Light change. Second part, winter. Models moving through the trees. 3 different paths. And going backstage. And though, when the finale arrived on that, which is all the models are coming, everybody applauded and thought it was finished. And the curtain opened on the side. And when you look like this, you don't really take care on your right. And then the riser move. The moment the riser move, we win. Ronnie, smile, on the screen behind. They're arriving from the library, Oxford Library. Everything remade. Alex made an amazing job with the team. Find books, all the books with numbers. Put like from number 1 to, there was about medicine, philosophy, history, art, literature, religion. And with on the top, the head of the philosopher, the table, the green lamps. As soon they stopped in front of this number 2 set, the music was already on the second one, the door opened, first model arrived like a student, light goes on, first set. Finally, at the finale, all them, because the model, when they come, they go to seat, they got to take a book, or they have their book, they sit, and they read, and at the finale, Mr. Hilfiger come. When Mr. Hilfiger come, Everybody applauded and looked front. Second curtain open, they move. They arrive to Greg Lauren universe. Totally different, opposite. It was nature. But on the side, you had a little part of an English club with a couple drinking whiskey. Then after you have this amazing old car with couples around. Then you had this rugby mat in the mud and in the grass. And up in that you have a small hill with the military people inside their dusty painted tent. So you are totally light going from one to the other, recreating the different vignette. And then curtain open and you move until they arrive in front of the gate. At the gate, it was a very credible, I would say, kind of dramatic effect. Henry mixed the music, something was like the voice of monk or voice of opera going to rhythm, going to R&B. It was a stunning moment. Door open, models arrive. A line of models stop. They had it. Imagine at the beginning, everybody with the hood, then going up the head and taking all the hood together, the door open, first model come, stay, and they create a line. And what happened at the end? Ronnie arrived. Everybody applaud, and Ronnie takes the microphone that an assistant give to say the following. Now, if you want, you can walk on every set, inside every set. You can go to see all the models. You can see all the product. Please, enjoy, and you have a drink. The goal here, and he totally understood it from the beginning, like the set are so real, made so perfect, that you go very near. It's not a set, it's real. Real wood, real books, real lamps and glass, real floor in wood, real carpet, under the forest, and Greg Lauren, real mud, real grass, and then the gate was in real metal. It means that because everything was real, everything is luxury. And because you can go so near, then your product is luxury. And it is. Even if it's streetwear, but it's a luxury streetwear with a lot of generosity inside. So after that show, I remember the week after receiving in Paris, when I was back to go to Milan, beautiful flowers and a pair of shoes I love. And and what we're going to do next? The next one came to Ronnie's head concept, 3-4 months after. He said, I want to do KITH Air. I would like to make the people travel. KITH is going to open in London and going to open in Paris. I would like to make my guests, my friends, to travel with me. I can't make them travel, so we have to find an idea. And by connection through Alex at the Cipriani downtown, the Wall Street Cipriani where we worked so often, they had a team making video, already having video, making video mapping. So one solution was to travel with everyone, which is totally impossible money-wise, but also in this period of time. Money-wise could be sponsors here, but on this period of time, you cannot bring the people to the Côte d'Azur and bring them back when you are inside the Fashion Week. So the idea, the concept developed by Ronnie was, we're going to make people arrive in the venue, beautiful, no proportion, very high, like a church, like we said. Ceiling painted cupola, the marble sculpted, the columns, the marble and the tavetine on the floor, or the iron on the floor, wow. But we have to make them feel first that they are in a plane and they're moving, have the feeling, they need to have the physical feeling to move to, first to go to mountains. And then they have the feeling that they're gonna move to go to the desert. And then after they have to go to Paris. And after they have to come back to New York. We're gonna make 4 Ethan. And this is how we work all together with this team of video mapping to create this feeling. So you analyze it, you say, okay, plane is the plane windows. Okay. Plane is the voice of the steward or the stewardess. Plane is some noise. So we analyze what could be elements who represent a plane and who can symbolize, not only give you the impression that you can feel, because you react to this noise as you were normally in a plane, or to this image. And this is how we build the fact that the place from a little logo KITH on a window, image invade the space, and have the feeling that you are up in mountains. And you see all the mountain from the top and you begin to land. And then at the moment that the image begin to slow down, then the show happened, not to jeopardize one to the other. We made the movement from one place to another. We arrive in the sky again, arrive in the desert when you see all the sand, and then arrive in Paris, you are under the Eiffel Tower, and then you arrive in New York, this view from Manhattan by night. It was a very, very strong moment. Very strong moment. Basically, we were supposed to be working on the one for September, and then Ronnie said, well, no way to do it. We have to create together, and work on activations. We have to work on photo shoot. We have to work on pop-up shop. So we worked with him on the activation that was in the Queens. It's been in Long Island. It's been in Soho at the same moment, and it was the BMW collaboration. And then we work also on the pop-up shop designed by Mr. Ross. The pop-up shop, which was the idea was the snowball, and we opened it in December for the week in Manhattan, in the park. So this is a crazy, lovely story. I mean, Ronnie is absolutely incredible. And you can feel it in his product. This is what is incredible. It's not conceptualized. I mean, the concept is not an aesthetic concept. It's not an art concept. But it's a so human concept that it is at the same time art. And it is at the same time comfort and generosity. Good luck. Thank you.